Everyone. George, could you lead us on the pledge?
Please repeat with me. Place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome our president, Jennifer Smith.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Happy Friday. Let's see, I have my protocol here. So, which for some reason my word is not working actually. So I want to introduce Etta, our guest Etta today, and Amy Carpine. We have our past district directors, Maria Martinez-Riot, CTM. And we also have our other past district director with us, George Lund, Distinguished Toastmaster. We have our area director, Scott Kansu. Let's see, any more guests? The mission of Valley Voices and Vices is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Are there any unfinished business? Anybody have anything? Just a reminder of the district town hall today at 1 o'clock. I sent an email regarding that to you last Saturday morning, so you can log in and register for that. And it's just for Jean to get to know what you desire out of a member to for education and to help the district grow.
Am I supposed to talk about the education thing now?
You can. The education level.
Education
level. 2
level.
minutes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm going to share the screen.
You can share.
Okay. This is where we are right now. We have met 3 goals. We still have a little bit more to go. We have our level 1. We need 2 more people. If people can finish up their level 1. If you have started a new program or interested in another pathway, go ahead and finish it up. Our level 2 is complete. And then we need 1 more level 3 to finish up. And then we need another DTM, Peggy, to get this done. And we need like 4 new members. Okay, that's my report. Any questions?
And for the new members, this is for us to get our club to distinguish with our district and Toastmasters International. So we have our pathways. It's the educational process, correct? And then those levels will take us to a recognition with Toastmasters International and amongst our district as well. So, did I say that right, George and Maria? Maria's on mute.
Yes.
Remember that we need all those goals accomplished, but we will still need the minimum number of members that we need to be recognized. So membership is the most critical thing, really. I know we're going to accomplish those other goals. Getting the members is the main issue.
Correct, because last year we missed it because we did not obtain our membership goals. So for our guests, be a part of us. So
Amy and Etta.
And have a celebration. We'll celebrate. Any other unfinished business? Thank you, Cynthia, for that, by the way. Any officers' reports? Any new business? Look at me starting our Toastmasters in a timely manner. What? Well, let me hand over control to our Toastmaster. Today's theme is National Punctuation Day. You know, and I can't think of anything, I always go to the National Day of, and it's always a good way to pull a theme. So National Punctuation Day, I'm surprised that Francisca doesn't have punctuations everywhere.
Yeah.
National Punctuation Day commemorates all punctuation on September 24th. A period, a semicolon, a question mark, an exclamation point are examples of some of the punctuation used in writing. They separate sentences and their elements to clarify meaning. Without them, meaning would be lost or up for interpretation. Across the country, punctuation events test skills, educate, and even poke fun at some of the embarrassing errors. I'm going to pause on that for now and introduce some of our members who have our roles to help us run our meetings. Today, we have George. And of course, I have to ask everyone about our theme. And my question was, what punctuation drives you crazy when it's used incorrectly? While George is giving his word master, his word of the day, I will find George's answer. Let's introduce George to the control of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Well, I was all prepared to do Minute Master today. So while you've been jabbering, I went out to dictionary and found a word. And the word today is asterisk. It's a noun. It's used in writing as a reference mark or to indicate an omission or a doubtful manner. So please try to use it today as we all are called upon to speak. And I will keep track of the word usage as well as any grammatical errors, ahs, ums, ands, so you know, whatever. Madam Toastmaster.
George, I may have to get back to you on your answer because it was very cool. And one of the things that I thought that was pretty cool was when I knew that I can ask what punctuation drives you crazy or misuse of a punctuation, that my fellow Toastmasters knew how to answer that question. All right, our next role member who has a role today is Francisca Suarez. She is our Minute Master. And one of the hard things about running the meeting and then running into Toastmasters is, like I said, being organized. Oh, look, I found it. Francisca said, punctuation and what drives me crazy? Not sure which one drives me crazy, but I know I often use a question mark and an exclamation point as well in the same sentence. Don't ask me why, but for me, it emphasizes the question, but that's not property usage of those two. Yes, I am one driving myself crazy with the punctuation. Oh, well. Welcome to the control of the meeting is Francisca.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As your Minute Master, I get to share a funny story, a poem, or an educational moment. So I chose an educational moment. Did you know we almost had 2 additional punctuation marks to continue to drive us crazy? An international patent application was filed and published in 1992 under World Intellectual Property Organization for 2 punctuation marks, the question comma and the exclamation comma. The question comma has a comma instead of the dot at the bottom of a question, mark, while the exclamation comma has a comma in place of the point at the bottom of the exclamation mark. I'm already confused. I don't know about you, but they're pictured behind me if you can kind of see them. Like an exclamation point, it was used to denote excitement, add flourish, and generally lend a statement a certain degree of emotion and emphasis. It was meant to be used within a sentence and not flopped at the end of a sentence. The patent application eventually fizzled out. It never made it anywhere outside of Canada, and it did also fizzle out at Canada. So we don't have these today, but you never know, with TikTok and Instagram and all these social platforms, that could sometime at some point come back. So that is your educational moment for today on punctuations. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Francesca. I knew that you would educate us on something about punctuation. Thank you very much. I am your table topics master. Scott, are you in for table topics today?
It would be my highest honor, Madam President.
All right.
Maybe not my highest, but yeah, I'll do it. Okay.
I think I was trying to open this and froze. My question, my word. Sorry, let me see. My word is freezing. So let me find it on my phone. All right. Sorry, I am not speaking. I'm just looking to see who can answer these questions. All right. Your boss writes an email to you which has several punctuation errors. Do you tell your boss of the errors, or do you let it slide and say nothing at all? And why? George.
Well, I guess, Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guest, it would depend on the boss. If I had a fairly good relationship with the boss and I wanted to make sure that he looked good, then of course I would sit down with him and suggest that maybe he review what he had written and offer a couple of suggestions. But if it was somebody that I didn't get along with, you better believe it, I would keep my mouth shut, because I didn't want to be written up for bad mouthing the boss or calling him on the carpet. So that would be my answer. I just think it depends on the boss, Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, George. By the way, Lori is the timer, not me. Lori's the timer. I know as word grammarian, we are to notate the ahs, ands, buts, and so's during our Toastmasters meeting. What word is like nails on a chalkboard to you, and why? Scott?
Madam Topics Master, and wonderful members, and not only myself, but the other honored guests. This is a question that is really easy for me to answer. The word that I would paste on the wall that drives me crazy, and I don't think I'm the only one who has an issue with this word. It is among the most overused words in the English language to me. It's the word basically. Basically this, basically that. People start every sentence with, well, basically, well, basically this, well, basically that. It drives me absolutely nuts, absolutely nuts. And I think it's a byproduct of having been in these wonderful rooms for the time that I have been in them, where we learn that words absolutely have meaning. And we also learn that using a filler word, and basically is normally a filler word. Using those filler words, it not only diminishes what you're trying to say, it is an indication that maybe you yourself don't even quite know what it is you're trying to say. And it can be a sign of being unprepared. It could be a sign of being shy. It can be a sign of a lot of things. So it's something that I have learned to be very cognizant of. It's something that I don't know that I would ever call out my boss for using it for the reasons that George so eloquently mentioned. But it is a word that is tremendously overused. And I don't hear it a lot or see it a lot or read it a lot on social media, thankfully. But when I'm in a conversation with somebody who is using it, I tend to just internally cringe and mention to that person at the end of the conversation, very pointedly, sir or madam, have you ever heard of Toastmasters? Madam Topics Master. Madam Topics Master.
Well, basically, Scott, I couldn't wait to say that. And one of the things that I do need to get better about when we do have guests and talk about our timing, and our timing is 1 to 2 minutes, or we'll give them some leeway. What? 1 to what? How many minutes?
30, 45, and 60. 30, 45, and 60.
Right, it's here. Isn't that 30?
Don't pull your hair out, Maria. Don't pull your hair out.
I'm not saying anything. I'm gonna make a big sign for next time.
Oh, we should do that. Table topics is, all right. Why does it say 1 to 2 minutes here?
Because in a contest, it's 1 to 2 minutes.
All right, I have one more. You are in the process of signing the contract. The commas are not in the right spot. There are several run-on sentences, spelling errors, and just poorly written. Do you continue to sign the contract, or do you stop and ask for corrections on the contract? Etta.
If there were so many errors, I would probably stop reading about a quarter of the way through because I would have a terrible headache. Spelling, punctuation, errors, and the like give me a terrific headache. If there were so many mistakes, I would likely not believe anything that they were trying to tell me. I could not get through it because I would have my marking pen in hand. Thank you.
Very good. Well, that concludes.
We have
my-
more time, Jennifer,
Oh, we have
because
more
we only
time?
have one speaker.
Because we only have one speaker. Well, that means I have to think of questions on the cuff. Oh my goodness. I planned for 2 speakers today. Okay. All right, let me think of a question. You are, let's see. All right. You have an English teacher. She sends home your child's most recent paper with a big fat F on it. And she has the paper marked all in red with all of the grammatical and spelling errors. And of course, it's punctuation day and punctuation. And she sends home a note to you as a parent stating that your child had these errors and you need to help proofread the documents, the papers that come back to her. And of course, she has errors as well. Do you redline her paper or do you ignore it, Francisca?
Oh my goodness. I had a fabulous English teacher in high school. It was a he, not a she. And I would have to redline that paper and send it back to the teacher because I just couldn't. I could not live with myself if I didn't take his class true to heart and do what is right. I would maybe not redline it, but maybe I would blue line it just so it's a different color and it's not as intimidating because it's red, so it's blue. Blue's the color of trust. And that's what I would do. I just kind of give it a different spin, but do correct it and send it back to the instructor. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, Francesca. I came up with that question. I don't know if I can come up with any more questions. So can we have a timer's report? George, do you have a?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Peggy, what's your worst punctuation usage?
My worst punctuation usage? Well, I'll tell you the one that drives me crazy is when people use, I just did an when people use the percent sign and a decimal sign at the same time. You don't need both. And you see people in pharmacy calculations that do that. Instead of 0.08%, you don't do both. Percent, it's like repeating yourself. Maybe it's a Toastmasters thing, even though that's not really a mathematical equation. If punctuation isn't there or it's overused, nobody's going to get what you're talking about. And a good example of something like that would be when we changed our system over and when you'd enter people in eligibility fields. If you goofed and you put somebody's name in there, there was no way to remove it. So the folks over at United Healthcare started, they would put in do not use. But there was no spaces. So we'd come along and we'd get this thing and we go, I don't know, who's Donna Tews? And I wasn't the only one that did that. Donna Tews was not a person. So we had to fill it up full of asterisks. And the asterisks, when they came over, you would know that was not really a person. But if you don't use punctuation or overuse it, somebody's not going to get it, period. And that's all I've got.
She used the word asterisk. I forgot to mention that we should use our today and our table topics, guys. That's the opportunity to use our word of the day. George, do you have any more questions? No? All right. Anybody have a question they want to hear from their fellow Toastmasters about punctuation, grammar? All right. Well, we will then ask for a timer's report. Lori?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right. Excuse me. I'm just dumping the filler words out because I can't stop laughing. Madam Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmaster. Double duty today. George spoke about having his boss's back, perhaps, for 44 seconds. Scott, our area director, spoke about his nemesis word, basically, for 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Etta spoke about those dreaded contracts and how difficult it is to just weed through the punctuation there for 58 seconds. Francisca spoke about her wonderful high school English teacher and then correcting an English teacher's grammar with blue pen for 43 seconds. And Peggy spoke about a double negative punctuation incident for 1 minute and 26 seconds. Because Scott did not know our table topics timing, he still qualifies. And everyone qualifies today.
Send your votes. Can we send them to you?
To me.
Lori. Send them to Lori. Right. And then Lori said, I hate when the semicolon is used incorrectly. And she put semicolon. However, the colon is a close second. See you Friday. All right, before we get to our section of speaking, probably should have asked this question sooner. But Peggy, you had your podcast presentation. Do you want to do that today, or because we don't have Nicole, would you like to do that today to fill the second speaker? Or do you want to wait? You want to wait to another date?
I will go ahead and wait. It's 12 minutes. And speaking of punctuation, I've painted these eyebrows in Zoom, and on the podcast, I did it there too. And today I'm really noticing everybody's eyebrows when they say a question, or we use our eyebrows like punctuation. And I look like a cross between Groucho Marx and my mother. My mother had her eyebrows tattooed on, but these on Zoom are like right above my eyeglasses, and they wiggle all the time. I didn't realize I used my eyebrows that much when I speak. So that's the number one thing on my own criticism of the podcast. Some parts of it were really good, but because it is sort of long, I think we might be too much for this one meeting. But I learned a lot from it, and I am anxious to share, but not today.
Perfect. And then Cynthia will note that on when you add her to the speaker
Roster or
yes.
agenda. Sorry.
Yes. All right. So today's speaker is Maria Martinez-Riac, and let me tell you what she said about punctuation. I don't know that it drives me crazy, but when I catch incorrect punctuation, it annoys me. It drives me crazy, not technically punctuation, but grammar. What drives me crazy, not technically punctuation, but grammar, is the incorrect use of it, of it's and it. It's apostrophe, it's without apostrophe. That drives me crazy. Cynthia, will you tell us Maria's objective?
Sure, Madam Toastmaster. Maria's objective is, oh, I didn't put it down. I'm sorry, Maria. But her speech is on a little adventure. It's 5 to 7 minutes and it's effective body language.
It's from the presentation Mastering Past Level 2, Effective Body Language.
Effective body language from, okay.
And the title, you have the title, right?
Yes, A Little Adventure, and it's 5 to 7 minutes. Maria.
So let's welcome Maria Martinez-Riac, A Little Adventure, Maria Martinez-Riac.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our very special guests. After many, many months of my husband insisting that he wanted to buy a new car, not just a new car, but a Jeep Wrangler. And I saying, no, we don't need such a car. I finally gave in. We went to the dealer. He test drove the car. And then he said, I don't want it. What? After all that, he said, no, when I drove it, it felt rough. And I think if we were to go on a long trip, it would not be comfortable. Hello, what I've been saying all along, what we need at this point of our lives is a car with a lot of comfort and a little bit of adventure. We settled on a Jeep Cherokee, a trail-rated Jeep Cherokee. Now we have this car, where are we going to go with it? Are we going to go on some trail? He said he wanted to go up and try to see if we could get up to Wheeler Pass. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's a mountain pass on the road between, if you think of 95 and Pahrump, up there on the top of that. Easy enough to start. We drove north on 95, past the exit to Lee Canyon, took the next left, which is called Creek Road. Can't miss it. When you turn that left, you have the Southern Desert Correctional Center on your left and the High Desert State Prison on the right. Not an area you want to hang around or linger at. That road is paved. The Cold Creek Road is paved until it's not. The dirt starts at the little town called Cold Creek. Before we left, I downloaded one of those trails apps on my iPad. And yes, Cynthia, I was able to do that all by my very self. I loaded that. We started on the dirt road. No sooner we started, this is a dirt road, rocky, narrow, full of bumps. And I'm thinking, is this what I wanted? Well, of course, I have my iPads on my hands. I have my seatbelt on, and my body's going like this, constantly going like this. And we start, and after a little bit, Doug says, that's my husband, Doug. And we on the right road. I said, I don't know, you have to stop because I can't see anything on this iPad with all this jerking around that I'm doing. I think we're on the same road. There was some other trails showing up, but I'm thinking we were on the same road. So we continued on. We come to a fork and we stop, of course, because he said, which way? Well, I don't know which way, but I'm thinking, well, take the right. This was anything but a road. It was it's just a wash. It was full of rocks. So the wheels start spinning and spinning and spinning, and we can't go forward. And then finally we went on, and I almost hit the roof. And I'm thinking, I said, Doug, can we turn back? No, we can't. It's too narrow. How are we going to even try to turn this car around? So we went forward, and after a lot of this, we finally got through it. I think it was no more than a quarter of a mile, but it seemed longer to me. We come out of it, and of course, the road on the left, the one that we should have been on, is there. I consider myself a really good navigator. I blew that one. It was bad. We continued on. Of course, we're still climbing. Remember, we're trying to get to a summit, and we're climbing and climbing. And then I see this big rock on the road. All along, even with all that movement, he's navigating to try to get the best part of the road. There was no way we could avoid this. As we went over it, I hear this screeching on the bottom of the car. I thought, oh, a brand new car, and we just ruined it. But these cars are supposed to be built for this, and they're supposed to have some kind of steel or metal plating at the bottom, and that's what we were hitting, and I'm hoping that this is what we had. So we continued on, and finally the road opens up, and we had come to the top. And I carry my camera with me. I had secured it properly on the back seat and my tripod, and I want to share a couple of the pictures that I took. Can you see it? Can you see the picture? Yeah. So this is the picture we took at the very top of the Spring Mountain. You can see it's over 7,700 feet to the top. And then this is the Jeep. The Jeep that got us. On the right, you can see we came from the right because you can see how it's kind of going down there. We came to the top. We stood there for a while, enjoying the view. It's 360-degree view from up there. It's really pretty. And then we continued down to the other side, which we had heard was an easier road. And it was still dirty, still bumpy, still rocky, but nothing compared to what we had come up. After a while of descending that hill, finally we came to a paved road, Pahrump. We have ended up in Pahrump, which was where I thought we would get. I was so happy to see a paved road. I have had enough of all those rocks. We drove home and I cleaned the car. It was dusty. There was dust attached, literally attached to the seats. It took me a long time to get it down. I actually got underneath the car to see if there was a metal plate down there, but there was. It turned out to be a really, really good trip. And the Jeep held. It was all that it was meant to be. It's trail rated, it's high clearance 4x4, and it has all these other good features for off-roading. But when I was fortunate to think that after all these years of living here, I had the chance to see that part of the state that I had not been up of those mountains. But as I put this in my memory, I will always have that asterisk. I don't want to do this one again. But I am glad that we bought a car with a lot of luxury, a lot of comfort, and just a little bit of adventure. Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, Maria, rule number 1, don't go off-roading by yourself. That is.
Oh, it was touch and go.
Invite myself and Cynthia will follow. I have a tow rope and the Wrangler, all adventure, not comfort.
No.
Can we get a timer's report for Maria's speech, Lori?
Absolutely, Madam Toastmaster. Maria just took us on her adventure and that comfort. And she spoke for 7 minutes and 24 seconds. She qualifies.
All right. We do not have a second speaker unless somebody wants to pocket speak. All right. On that note, we have our general evaluator, Lori Leonard. I think. Lori, did I already read yours?
You did.
I did. I just want to make sure.
You have a lot of rules today, Madam Toastmaster.
Yeah. So let's welcome to the meeting Lori Leonard, our general evaluator.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to be your general evaluator today. And with that role, I have the privilege to introduce our evaluator, and we'll get to Cynthia in just a moment. But I also have the opportunity to evaluate our meeting as a whole and provide feedback to all of our meeting participants. We started our meeting on time. Yay. And Maria does such a fabulous job keeping us on task.
Yeah.
And she does a great job with that, especially on days that like today when we have our officers meeting, because we are a talkative bunch and we always have our business meeting and it tends to keep going and we have lots to discuss. So Maria kept us on task, gave us a 5-minute warning and said, we have to get going. And we started our meeting on time, as always. Jennifer gave a very brief and concise business meeting including a report from our Vice President of Education on our Distinguished Club program and where we are with our points today. So I really appreciated that. I think sometimes we miss out on our Distinguished Club program updates. So that was really wonderful. I really love today with our asterisks, and that is a hard word to get in there. So I'm going to see if I can work it in again during our reports. Francisca, fantastic minute. I learned something new today. And with our social media, Francisca, you heard it here first at Valley Voices and Vices. We're recording our meeting today. I am predicting that the exclamation comma and question comma are just going to be the new thing and in our punctuation. It's National Punctuation Day. Go out and use them, and we'll start to blow it up on social media today. So you heard it first. Thank you, Francisca. I learned something new, and it blew my mind. Table topics today was so much fun. I just had a wonderful time with the topics. I thought they were related to the theme, and Jennifer, great job with putting all those questions together, and then George pitch hitting with the extra topic there to stretch out our time a little bit. I thought that was wonderful. Our speakers today met their time requirements and then some. I think with the guests, we should always try and introduce our timing requirements, especially since sometimes our club members don't even realize what our timing requirements are for table topics. Maybe we should have a sign behind our timer or something with the timing requirements for topics. But that's something that as a general evaluator, I will point out whenever I go to a new club, I always ask, what are your timing requirements for table topics? Because every club is a little bit different. Seriously, every club is a little bit different with their timing requirements for table topics. And that's okay. With our club, we want to try and get as many speakers as possible for table topics, so we shorten our time. And other clubs will use the 1 to 2 minutes with an extra 30 seconds. So you can go as long as 2 minutes, 30 seconds for topics in other clubs. Our club, we shorten it up a little bit to get as many speakers as we possibly can in our table topics portion. Let's get on with our evaluator and see what she has for Maria's feedback. Please welcome Cynthia Dick.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Maria, very good speech. Very well organized. I felt every movement of that, and I'm pretty sure Jennifer did too. We both, enjoyed jeeping, and we know the feeling of jeeping. We know that you probably had a headache after you did that. But in your journal, put an asterisk beside never go jeeping alone. Never do that. I mean, anything could happen on a jeeping trip if you're out there alone. I know a lot of people does it, but that's the biggest requirement of jeeping and get involved in a jeeping club. But you did you did do your purpose. Your body language was amazing. And I love the way you walk to the side, and when you point your hands out and tell them the direction, go this way, just a little bit, and the whole body movement was there. Your facial expression was there. Not sure, at the end that you will like the jeeping, you'll keep on going jeeping because that's what it's used for. And underneath the wheel, we both learned, Jennifer and I, is a pumpkin. That's what scraped. The pumpkin scraped on the ground there. So that's what you got to be aware of. That is very heavy still. Very humorous, your speech. very enjoyable. Everybody was with you. Everybody was laughing with you along the way. But what a beautiful adventure that you had, that you enjoyed doing, and hopefully you'll do it again one day. Yes, your Jeep will get dirty. Yes, it is very hard to clean, but the fun of doing the Jeep is what it is for, used for, is going Jeeping, enjoying the places that you could never go before. You're like, you always stay in the city, but what's up there on the top of the mountain? Oh my gosh, there's more to see. Or, oh my gosh, there's a little bitty town up there. Enjoy your Jeeping. Your voice variety was very good. You're so good at this, Maria. You've been at it for a long time. I don't know if there's anything that can improve on my end. Maybe somebody else can say. But for me, it was perfect. Of course, you are perfect and everything, but yeah. And I know you get upset sometimes, but yeah, but you're perfect in your speech and you're very adamant of what you're going to do in your speech. Thank you very much for your speech. Madam Journey Evaluator.
Thank you, Cynthia. Your time for your evaluation was 2 minutes and 54 seconds. So you qualify with your evaluation. I really like Cynthia's evaluation in that she demonstrated some of the gestures, because this was a gesture speech for Maria. And so that was what Maria's objectives were to use gestures effectively. She actually demonstrated some of the gestures with the iPad and then the bopping with the Jeep. And so that she demonstrated what gestures were used very effectively in Maria's speech. And I thought she did that very effectively in the evaluation. And she used I statements because an evaluation is a personal opinion. Oh, that's Jennifer's speech. Jennifer asking about a round robin. If we have time, yes. So I thought that that was done very effectively, Cynthia. I think there's always room for trying to find at least one item for improvement. And I know it's hard with Maria because she is such a seasoned speaker. The one thing that I would have mentioned to Maria is because she had the background with the photo, which I thought was so effective. That photo was so effective because it's the off-roading and the photo in the background for her. But when she was standing and moving forward and backward with her gestures, she was fading in and out a little bit. So that was one thing to keep in mind with using a background on Zoom with a gesture speech where you're moving around a lot. You might fade in and out of the picture a little bit. So just one thing to keep in mind. Let's see, I've talked about the Minute Master. I need to get a couple other reports. I think I do have time for, since Jennifer suggested a round robin, let's go ahead and have, I'll set the clock for 3 minutes for a round robin for Maria's speech. Yes, Jennifer.
Maria, I thought your presentation was great. I thought that your animations and your gestures were right on point. You actually, one of the things that Simon said to me was that on one of my evaluations that I bring, like, I'm there in the screen and you were there. We saw you, you were full. It was just like you were right in front of us. So that was pretty cool on your gestures and your animations. So great job.
Anybody else? George.
Great storytelling, Maria. It was really a great story. I really liked all of your movement. I thought they were appropriate and made your points clear. I would have not taken the right fork. I would have gone left.
I thought that when she talked about the iPad there on her lap, that she couldn't see to read it with the wiggling around, I really felt nauseous at that point. That's usually where I get car sick. That was good.
I'll pipe in here with one thing. When there's an my goodness. When we're evaluating DTMs or we're evaluating experienced Toastmasters, if you really think that the speech that you just heard would be a good contest speech, absolutely bring that up, because the speaker may not even have been considering that. And what tends to happen is that's where we get some of the better, well, not some of the better, but we fill up the contests at the area level from the club levels. And not every person who gives a speech even considers, well, this is good enough for a contest. The answer, if you think it is, let them know. And that might plant a seed. So excellent job on my side too. Excellent job in terms of what I heard. Fantastic. Thank you.
Edda.
I would agree with Scott. This would be an excellent contest speech. Your passion always shows through in all of your speeches, Maria. As for me, that would be one of my world's greatest fears, is getting lost. I probably would put an asterisk on it under things I would not want to do again. But in that case, you faced the fear and did it anyway, and that's impressive.
Well, thank you everyone for the comments. I hope we haven't gone on another trip. We will. I don't need it as tough as this one was in certain sections. Any of you that may have taken that road. But I do hope to go on some other a little more sedate, because that's one of the reasons we have that car. It turned out to be really great. I have a question for the speech on the transitions to it's always hard to transitions to share a screen. Did it come out fairly okay? I mean, how?
I meant to mention that. I thought you did very well on that today. The transition to the second photograph was a little bumpy, but the transition to your photographs went very smoothly.
Because if I
was
had
very
set it
smooth.
up as a slideshow, then it's hard because coming from one to the screens to another, you don't know what people are seeing and not seeing, and I don't want to, I wanted to make it it was only a couple of pictures, but the other question I have on that, did the pictures add to the speech, detract from it, just right, or having the pictures?
I like the photos, especially the one at the top with the sign.
Mm-hmm.
Add it to it, because
Yeah.
no one knows when you're out on the road what you're actually seeing, and your picture in the background, and then how high that was and what you can see. Yeah.
And the picture I have on the background was a picture I took on that trip.
Yeah.
We were riding up in one of our stops that we had to stop. Anyway, thank you all for your comments. Cynthia, don't forget to send me the file, the hard copy.
Yeah. So Amy did have one comment as well.
Amy, where are you, Amy?
Yeah, she just sent one to me. She said, for Maria, I would recommend word bubble signs, like with the gestures as words. For example, splat, bump. Oh my gosh. She said this could help maybe with the movement. I don't know. I am searching for my words, trying to give clear and better descriptions. And she said, yes, Maria, enter the contest speech. Woohoo. So,
that with the last contest I tried to enter is a funny thing. No.
And Amy, it's okay. I just wanted to let you know it's okay to put that to everyone. Then everyone can see your comments. You don't have to send them directly to me. But thank you for your comments. Those were wonderful. Let's see what else. I need a grammarian's report.
Can I just
Yes, George. Oh, I'm sorry, Amy.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I'm literally working. And I can only tap so many times, and you were talking and somehow you came up. Thank you guys for having me, and tell Jennifer I wish I was running and listening to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay, here's my report. When I was going to be Minute Master, and I had all of these great little punctuation jokes. But anyway, the word of the day, Peggy used it twice, Jennifer once, Maria once, Lori once, and Etta once. So good stuff today. As far as ahs, ums, and so's, you knows, Francisca had an Scott had 3 ands and 2 ahs, Peggy had 2 ahs, Cynthia had 3 ums. Lori, you used the word and today. I got 8. That you used a lot of ands today and 1 ah. The grammar that I heard today, Jennifer said educate us and notate. Scott used the word internally kinks. I don't know how to spell it, so I probably didn't say it right. Marie used big boulder, and she said it very loud so we could tell it was a big boulder. A lot of luxury and comfort, and the word sedate. Lori said we're a talkative bunch, and we certainly are. She also used the term seasoned speaker, which I like the way that always sounds. Brief and concise and demonstrated. Cynthia used the word jeeping, which I'd never heard before, so I thought that was very interesting, and she used it multiple times, so we got the message, Cynthia. And Etta used the word passion, and that's my report, Madam General Evaluator.
Excellent. Thank you, George. I think we had a wonderful meeting. Thank you so much, Scott, for coming and being a part of our meeting today as our area director. I return conduct to our Toastmaster. Thank you for a wonderful meeting, Madam Toastmaster. I loved your theme.
Thank you, Lori, Madam General Evaluator. And look, it's so amazing that we learn how to use up our time. It's great. I love it. Anyway, do we have a winner of the table topics today?
Our table topics winner today is Peggy Prince.
Wow.
Nice impromptu. Good question, George. All right, let me give you a few more answers. Maureen is still on our member list, and she said that, oh my goodness, I'm a punctuationaholic, a natural born spell checker. I missed the meeting, Maureen. And then Cynthia says, I don't have a favorite. She said, exclamation mark. I will return conduct to the meeting to our president, Jennifer Smith. Great meeting, guys. We have 2 minutes, so I want to do any comments from the guests. Scott.
Madam President, you all have a lot to be proud of. I greatly enjoyed the last hour, and I came in a little early. I didn't really know what to expect coming in a few minutes early, and you were having a really great leadership meeting. I loved the idea of going over pathways at the beginning of the general meeting. That way everybody knows what's going on in the Distinguished Club program. Not every club does that, so I wanted to give you kudos for it. I see a lot of great things in this club that it's really refreshing. And my job, of course, as area director is to help you reach whatever goals you have and utilize the district in that endeavor. So anything I can ever do, feel free to reach out, and I will keep all of you informed of different things going on at the district level. We're coming up on the fall contest season, as well as some other things. So we're good. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Amy, do you have any other comments? Etta, do you have any comments?
No, but thank you for having me. Sorry, I'm literally cleaning.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yes, definitely. And I want you guys to know, I know I'm not a member, but I invite every person I talk to on the phone or in person. I always tell them about Valley Voices and Vices, EAA Young Eagles, Public Loan Forgiveness Program, Driver's Edge by Bridgestone, and protein pancakes by Joe Cook. So thank you all for having me.
You're welcome. Hey, Amy, if you run into anybody that says, oh yeah, tell me more, just make sure they get to me or Lori, okay?
Absolutely. Plus, I tell them that you're recorded, and I tell them how energizing. I even invited 2 people this morning,
Oh, okay. Well, cool.
but I haven't had any takers that I know of yet, but you never know who's watching the recording.
All right, well, keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you too. Have fun jeeping. Ask
All right.
on.
Okay, bye. Etta.
As always, I had a fun time. This one was particularly of interest to me because I've worked with the English language in some form or another. I taught English. I was a proofreader and an editor at my local newspaper. I've worked at the library for 18 years until COVID hit. And now I have a new job, which puts me more in contact with people. And I enjoy that. I probably will. It partially involves using the English, working on the phone and taking phone messages.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for showing up. I hope to see you again next week.
And I had a fantastic English teacher in high school who inspired me to work with the English language. I also like to write. I mean, authors and inspiring authors as well.
Great. Thank you. All right. Of course, we are running out of time. So anybody have anything to brag about? Announcements or brag? I have a brag, just real quick. I spoke Wednesday for 3 hours. We do CE classes, which credits for the state for the Board of Realtors. And I got all excellent, 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 fun, entertaining, and I have to say thank you, Toastmasters. And I got paid too. $10 a person, 17 people. Next week's schedule. Cynthia's still sleeping. Oh, no, she's not.
Here we go. I wasn't on mute. I was unmuted. So Maria, Toastmaster. Francisca, Wordmaster. Minute Master, George. Jennifer, Topic Master. Peggy speaking. Peggy, you want to speak?
Yes,
Okay,
we'll
you
be
want to
ready.
speak? Okay. Yeah, I have no Nicole as evaluator. If Jennifer GE. Laura, you said you're not available. You said a lot that you're not available the whole month, or are you just gonna pick up a role as we need it?
Yeah, so because I feel bad that I've had to cancel quite a bit with my health, what I'll do is I'll just pop in, and so I will be here and pick up roles when you need them.
Okay,
So the only day that I know I can't be here is the 8th.
okay. And I'm timer next week. Jennifer, can you handle GE and Taylor topics?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at the 15th. I told you I wasn't going to be here on the 15th.
All right.
We have a lot of holes on the 15th, guys.
So
Okay.
plug me in on the 15th then, Cynthia.
Put you on the 15th?
Yeah, wherever you need me. It looks like you need a speaker.
Yeah. Okay.
Cynthia, I would send out that survey again so we can get those holes filled. All right,
Okay.
guys. I know we went over. It was a great meeting. I had a lot of fun. I hope you all did too. And
But
have a great
just real quick, Cynthia, I know you haven't completed that, but can you at least send out the next week or send me next week? Because I'm I want to see who, since I'm Toastmaster, I didn't write down who else was doing what. Say what you have.
I usually send it to George and he puts it on the website. So do you want me to send it out individually also?
I'd like to get it individually, yes.
Okay, all right.
Cynthia,
Yes,
when I was at VP, if I didn't hear from people, I just put them on the schedule.
Yeah, just put people
So
on.
we don't have blanks. I'd rather you did that and then the week before, when we go over the schedule, then you can get some input of people say, oh, I'm not gonna be here. Well, you should have told me that. I wouldn't have put you on the schedule.
Yeah,
That way you at least fill up the schedule and it looks like we're having a viable meeting.
but yeah, I only did it like these 2 weeks and I'll go back and fill these in later.
Okay,
That's
all
all.
right.
yeah,
Just
but I
all
like
those,
to
like,
get as
I was
full
gonna
as
try to hide them
possible.
for you guys see it.
Yeah, I like to get the schedule for the full months as full as possible, but certainly next week, since I'm Toastmaster, I don't want to wait on getting that one.
Okay, that's you. Okay.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Any other comments?
Oh yeah, I did say asterisk, George. Did I not pronounce it right?
I didn't hear you say it, but if you did, I give you credit now.
Okay.
Guys. All
Have a
right.
great week, you guys.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.